Okay, so today we are going to talk about the conflict with Mexico. It involved the annexation of Texas and the Mexican cession, which happened because of the Mexican-American War. So we'll start off with the events that led to Texas's annexation and independence. In the 1820s, thousands of Americans began settling in Mexico because they had essentially been invited by the Mexican government to come into Mexico so more people would live there. This caused conflict with the Mexican government because a majority of the new settlers were slaveholders and the Mexican government had abolished slavery. Another issue that began was over religion because the new American settlers had different religious beliefs than Mexico. Most of the new American settlers were Protestant Christians, and majority of Mexican citizens were Catholic Christians, so that added to the tension. In 1830, Mexico banned further American settlement, and Santa Anna, president of Mexico, overturned Mexico's democratic constitution and established a dictatorship. This caused Texans to declare independence from Mexico. Santa Anna responded with forces, and Mexican troops led siege to the Alamo, a San Antonio mission, and the Texans were defeated, but this event inspired American volunteers to join the Texan army. So this is what the Alamo looked like. It was just a building, and it was a mission, so it was there for religious purposes, and it was in San Antonio, which is here. The Texans later defeated Santa Anna's army at San Jacinto, and Sam Houston became the president of the new Republic of Texas. Houston hoped that the U.S. would annex Texas, but the people of the U.S. were divided over Texas because the South wanted Texas to be a slave state and the North wanted Texas to be a free state. Oregon Country became the states of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho after James K. Polk, the president, negotiated a treaty with Britain to divide Oregon. Tensions with Mexico increased because Mexico never officially recognized Texas independence, but we wanted to add Texas anyway. So Mexico and U.S. argued over the southern border of Texas. The U.S. claimed that the Texas border was the Rio Grande, while Mexico claimed it was the Nueces River. So there was lots of disputed area here. So this is where America said Texas border was, at the Rio Grande, which is where it is today. And then Mexico said it was the Nueces River, which made the border be this way. So all this land here was disputed over whether or not it belonged to Texas / the U.S. or Mexico. So that kind of helped to spark the Mexican-American War. President James K. Polk offered to purchase California and the rest of New Mexico and pay money to settle the dispute over the Texas border. This outraged the Mexican government, and Polk sent U.S. troops to the disputed land south of the Nueces River, hoping to provoke Mexico. So he wasn't really trying to start a war, but he was like, what if we put some troops in this land and make them attack us? Well, it kind of worked because then the Mexican troops attacked the U.S. troops in that disputed land area, and Polk asked Congress to declare war. So Polk sent troops to this area here, and that's when Mexico attacked, and Congress declared war. The war with Mexico was more popular between Southerners and Westerners who wanted more land. The Northerners opposed the war because they were afraid it was an attempt to extend slavery. Troops under Stephen Kearny captured Santa Fe and San Diego. So right here is San Diego, and Santa Fe is over here in present-day New Mexico. These were two cities that were captured by the U.S. And then Zachary Taylor, who became president later on, won a victory at the Battle of Buena Vista. And troops under Winfield Scott, who you'll hear more about during the Civil War, captured Veracruz and then marched into Mexico City. So here's Buena Vista, and then Veracruz is down here. The war ended with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, and under the treaty, Mexico finally recognized Texas as an independent place, and it ceded or gave up a vast territory known as the Mexican Cession to the United States. So you can see here is the territory that was given up. The territory included present-day California, Nevada, and Utah, with parts of Wyoming, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. A little bit later, in 1853, the Gadsden Purchase was made, and the U.S. paid Mexico $10 million for a narrow strip of land, which is now present-day Arizona and a little part of New Mexico. And this final purchase helped the United States to achieve Manifest Destiny, and if you haven't been to the Manifest Destiny station yet, you'll soon learn what Manifest Destiny is. But basically, the United States then stretched from sea to shining sea.